Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
The weekend is upon us. It is Friday here in San Antonio. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. It is Friday. That means we have Johnny Walker, the Longhorn great, the former Holmes Husky great, member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, will be on to talk to us about UT football. Dallas Cowboys. He'll be on at 10:30. Excited for that. Going to work tonight, by the way. He's one of the coaches for a high school here in San Antonio, high school football.
Johnny doing double duty.
I'm doing the announcing tonight again.
Oh, y'all both doing double duty.
My second time going out there. Big show as always. We're going to be talking about the NFL Week 3, which already got underway. Wait a minute. Maybe we were wrong about Aaron Rodgers.
No, bro.
Is he good again? Is he now elite?
No.
We also had to get into that push he had with Coach Sala
I saw
yesterday.
That. Don't touch me.
Yeah. Now, I'm reading lips about it, and what Aaron Rodgers said after the game kind of makes sense a little bit, so I kind of believe it a little bit. We'll get into that. Shohei Ohtani had a historic game yesterday, not because he had a milestone that no one had ever hit before, which is 50-50. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, right? I remember Jose Canseco being the 40-40 guy, 40 home runs, 40 solo bases.
But he was juicing, man.
And how big of a thing that was, and he was juicing. Ohtani, all year long, we've been talking about how he has a chance of making a 50-50 season. He got it yesterday in epic fashion. 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases to get to 50-50. On top of that, he had 10 RBI in a single game yesterday. Man. Is he the greatest player that we've ever seen, or is it still Barry Bonds?
I don't know. It might be Ohtani.
In our lifetime.
I don't know, man. It might be Ohtani, bro.
In our time.
But you know what? The Dodgers needed to win that game yesterday.
Yes, they did.
And all that they won. Does that mean that they're in? We got to check the standings.
So we'll review that as well. I was before we get going, I was listening to Sports Talk Radio this morning.
You were telling me about this.
I was listening to San Antonio Sports Star, my former station, 94.1 FM. And I will say this, it was the most cringy thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and I loved every moment of it. Rob Thompson, bravo to you. Rob Thompson, my former mentor over at San Antonio Sports Star, was interviewing Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy this morning. And if you didn't hear it, go to their audio vault, go to their YouTube page.
Got a replay, I know.
Replay that. That was cringe-worthy, but it was cringe-worthy in the right way. Mike McCarthy goes on every Friday.
Yeah.
Right? And it's usually nice banter back and forth. Rob Thompson's a Cowboys fan. Make no mistake about it. He's an Aggies fan. He's a Cowboys fan. And he went after Mike McCarthy today. He was not going to put up with anything today. And I think Mike McCarthy was stunned. I think Mike McCarthy thought this was going to be a cream puff interview, softball pitch interview. And Rob Thompson cornered him, because Rob's new co-host, forgot his name. I don't listen to the show very often.
What's his name?
Yeah, Rudy J's replacement. He went out there and he kind of fired the first shot by saying that was a terrible game that the Cowboys played. And how is it like after getting their butts kicked is basically what he said. Then Rob Thompson goes out there and starts talking about the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. And he went out there and said, your players are playing so poorly that according to PFF, Pro Football Focus rankings, they're playing like the worst offensive line or one of the worst offensive lines. And in particular, he was talking about Zach Martin. And he was saying Zach Martin is somebody who's a great player, historically a great player, but he's one of the worst offensive linemen this year. I think he said ranked 34 out of 38.
Man.
And he was talking about another offensive lineman that was ranked in the 30s out of like 36. And he was saying, what do you do to fix that? Because that offensive line is playing so poorly. The PFF rankings say this. Mike McCarthy just shot back with, what's PFF? What are you talking about? And at that point, a lot of people in the radio, journalists, TV, newspaper, whatever, might have just laughed it off. And he goes, you guys are ranked. You have 2 guys that are historically very good,
Mhm.
who are ranked as among the worst offensive linemen in the NFL through 2 games. That's what I'm talking about. And Mike McCarthy goes, well, I don't even know who PFF is. Well, which is nonsense, because whenever you watch a football game, the football game where they show the starting lineup and they go, starting lineup, they say their name and then they say their school, right?
Yeah.
Underneath it, what does it say? PFF ranking. So for Mike McCarthy to say that he does not know what a PFF ranking is nonsense. And Mike McCarthy fought back twice towards Rob Thompson, and Rob Thompson stood his ground a third time and says, why does the offensive line stink this year? Because they are actually poorly ranked. He did it 3 times. And at that point, McCarthy realized he wasn't going to be able to squirm away from this conversation and started talking about it. That was great radio.
Cringe, but great.
It was cringeworthy because it was painful. It wasn't cringeworthy because it was bad. It was cringeworthy because it was painful. It was Rob Thompson going after Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Rob Thompson going back, hitting him again with the same question from a different angle. Mike McCarthy saying, I still don't know what you're talking about. And then Rob Thompson going, come on, man.
Yeah, I love this comment here by Sam Salinas. And that's how Sports Star lost the weekly Coach McCarthy interviews.
That's exactly what I thought. Dude, Sam, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I thought when I was listening to this. I was thinking to myself, Mike McCarthy will not want to go back there. Now, they have a great relationship. San Antonio Sports Star would oftentimes, when the Cowboys are going 12-5 and winning division championships and stuff like that, the San Antonio Sports Star would send breakfast tacos to the Cowboys training facility and feed the coaching staff. And that was kind of like a thank you for doing the interview. Congratulations on the win. When you win, you get tacos, right? That was basically it. This was the first time I'd ever heard one of the guys at the Sports Star with venom ask a question.
Midtown Texas. Mike is going to start using PFF on here now.
Yes, exactly. That's what's going to do. Hand over fist calling me the cringe king. It was great, man. It was great radio. I suggest people go to the audio vault at sasportstar.com or go onto the YouTube page to listen to this. I want to go back to see what Rob Thompson's face looked like, because
got the vein
on video.
on the forehead.
He was like, don't F with me is basically what he was saying, right? Just read between the lines. Don't F with me. The offensive line is trash. Why so? It is actually ranked as trash based on Pro Football Focus's analysis of other offensive linemen. Yeah. And we know that Zach Martin is a stud player, and Zach Martin's going to be, the Ring of Honor one day. Zach Martin may very well be a Hall of Famer, first-round draft pick from 2014.
But he stinks.
Why is he stinking this year? And Mike McCarthy, for him to just kind of like get taken aback, pivot. It was almost like those presidential debates where you ask the question, they want to answer something differently.
Wait, the way they say it.
And then you go, no. The actual question was this.
Oh, God, man.
It was brutal, dude.
Not as brutal as some of those presidential debates, man. That stuff's kind of cringy, man. I kind of stay away from the politics kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of cringe to me. But, I mean, this interview that Rob Thompson did with Mike McCarthy, it might be worth a shot, me going back and revisiting it and seeing how cringe-worthy was it.
Now, I'm sure it aired early in the morning, but it came at the start of the 9 a.m. hour. So if they repeat the 9 a.m. hour, dude, it was brutal, dude. It was absolutely brutal. If Mike McCarthy does not go back on that show, it's going to be because of this.
And this is the moment it happened.
This is the moment it happened. And it was great radio. And Rob Thompson has always said this about sports talk radio.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Rob and Jason were the ones who picked me to win Rock the Mic back in the day. Rob said, we're not journalists. We're entertainers. media credentials. We could, but it's one of those things where I would rather be a fan talking about sports as opposed to getting to know the players. I've lived that life, man. I've done post-game interviews in the locker room. I've been to practices day in and day out. This was pre-COVID, but still, I've lived that life, and I don't want to live that life anymore.
We had our cameras just blink off real quick. I don't know why that happened. Tony Ornelas says, Mike, you forgot to pay the electric bill. As soon as we start saying we don't care about Spurs sports and entertainment, boop.
Dude, and why is the camera so far off to the right today, Joe?
I don't know.
You got to center me up, my man.
You are centered up right there in the shot.
Yeah, but I'm like looking over here. Everyone's seeing my profile, Yeah. I'm like Alfred Hitchcock over here.
You want me to move the camera over here?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Let's see.
But Zach Martin, does he really suck these days? I mean, he is 33 years old. He's about to turn 34. Is that the thing, man? Because Rob Thompson going after him, like I said, put the journalism hat on. And he doesn't really do that so often. Sam Salinas reaching out to us on our YouTube stream saying that he thought those interviews were canned with scripted questions. It's not so much that they're scripted questions, but that if you want to keep them to coming back, you need to ask questions that they're going to want to answer. And you have to make it where it's always positive and optimistic. Rob Thompson took it to negative town, and I loved it.
Needy Jimenez. And look at Sam Salinas says, get his good side, Joe. That's the thing. Mike ain't got no good side.
Dude, I'm about 10 pounds away from being effing cute, man. 10 pounds away.
Man. You got to let that go, bro. I hate that. That's cringe-worthy right here. That effing cute thing, man.
Shohei Ohtani. He's effing amazing. How about that? Watching that game last night, or yesterday, rather, watching the highlights, rather, Shohei Ohtani just going off and becoming a historic player, becoming the first player in MLB history to make it a 50-50 season, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Ohtani, 10 RBI for the day. Going out there, the Dodgers scored 20 runs in that game. Now, whoever caught that home run for the 50th homer, TMZ Sports is reporting that ball should be worth around $300,000 right now.
That's a lot of money.
I would hold on to it.
It's probably going to be worth more. But you know what? At the end of the day, I bet you anything the fan winds up giving it back to Ohtani.
Oh, hell no. That's money right there.
No.
Spot TV now with a historic moment. Ohtani going to left center. To hit 3 home runs in a game. Go 6 for 6. 2 stolen bases. 10 RBI in a game. Let's show that again. Spot TV now. Look at that angle right there. Look at that. Look at that grip.
Can't find the angle that I like.
There you go.
Just
cranked it. Brutal, dude. That's a beautiful shot, man. I mentioned that I went to Minute Maid Park and watched Ohtani play earlier this year against the Astros. Astros won that game on a Breggy bomb. But Ohtani hit a home run that it gave a sound that I could not believe. It was a crack of the bat I had never heard in my entire life. Look at this guy. Now with 50 home runs, 51 stolen bases, beyond 50-50. Man, this guy might get 55-55.
Look at that. Jonathan C. Ohtani is the GOAT. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, he very well may be, dude. Not only did he have 3 home runs yesterday, he had 2 doubles. He had 3 homers, 2 doubles, a single. Can you imagine if he had gone for the cycle? He should have just tried to leg out that triple there, baby.
God, man.
4 runs scored, 10 ribbies, 2 stolen bases. A game for the ages, a season for the ages. Ohtani obviously going to be the NL MVP this year. I mean, that better be unanimous. There better not be one stray vote for somebody else. That is incredible. We're going to have Johnny Walker in a few minutes. Johnny Walker talking to us about UT football. He predicted last week on this show that UT would lose 56-7, that UT would win 56-7. And our guy, Johnny Walker, nailed it on the head. 56-7.
And we just finished getting Johnny Walker to join us right now.
On a little bit early.
Bring him on.
Let's bring him on. Johnny, what's going on, my man?
Oh, it's going well, my man. We're doing really well, man. Hey, that's right. Longhorn's taking care of business. I like that.
Well, I mean, you hit it on the head. 56-7 is what you predicted. 56-7 is what happened. Take your victory lap, man. Just let everybody know. He dropped off. Okay. Come back in, Johnny. Make it happen.
Johnny.
There we go.
There he is. He's back on.
Am I there?
You are. Oh, wait.
There you are.
You are back with us, my man. So Take the victory lap, Johnny. Take the victory lap, man, for nailing it. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that.
Hey, we're keeping score, right? I mean, I know I'm winning. I should be winning now.
Now, the best part of it, though, was that we were all wrong about the Cowboys and Saints.
Yeah.
We'll get back into that later on. With Derek Carr as the quarterback, no longer David Carr. All right, I got the name wrong last week. My bad.
No, we're gonna keep it David Carr.
But let's talk about the UT Longhorns. The Longhorns getting that big victory over the UTSA Roadrunners 56-7. The story of it all, you have an ab injury to Quinn Ewers. Then you see Arch Manning come in and just ball out. Arch Manning showing that he has more wheels than Eli and Peyton because he went off for a 68-yard touchdown run. But tell me what you saw from that game. What was the good, bad, and ugly for UT?
Well, you always hate when one of your starters go down. I mean, Quinn Ewers was having a great game. He was 14 for 16 for 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, and it was kind of a freak of an injury. I mean, I was watching the game, and you didn't see anything actually physically happen to him. So when I saw him laying on the ground, everybody was shocked. But that shock changed to excitement real quick when Archie Manning came in, man. I mean, he just put on a show. 9 of 12 for 223 yards, 4 touchdowns. And I want to say that run, I don't know where he got the speed from. It might be Mama. I don't know. But he looked really good on that run, too. I mean, he really has shown that he's adapted to this level of football, and he's playing very well.
Talking to Longhorn legend Johnny Walker, former Holmes Husky legend, member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, who predicted the score 56-7 last week. That's right. The Ewers injury was bizarre because you just keep looking at that play. I wonder if it happened earlier in the game.
Yeah.
What? But either way, it looks like he's going to be missing this game against UL Monroe. So we're going to be able to see Arch Manning out there starting for the team. Were you more when you saw Arch Manning go out there? What were you more impressed by? Were you more impressed by his arm or his legs?
You know what? I think I was more impressed with his command. It seemed like he had been out there before. I mean, we didn't lose a beat. I mean, he just came right in, rallied the troops, and they just kept going. I mean, the saying is, keep your foot on the gas. I mean, they kept the foot on the gas. He looked really, really good. He looked like he'd been starting all along. So to see him be able to come in a situation like that, and the Longhorns just lost nothing. They just kept rolling. I mean, they just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. So I think he did a great job. He really did. I was impressed with his command.
Well, you know what? You're so impressed with Johnny Walker. You're so impressed with Manning here that he's going to show up for another week as a starting QB because Ewers is hurt.
There's one thing I will tell you this, and this is from my playing days, is you learn that when there's another guy behind you that's pretty good, those injuries tend to heal pretty quick. I guarantee you Quinn will make a miraculous recovery and be ready to play for the following week. So there'll be no surprise with that. Archie Manning is someone who definitely the fans want to see. He's got the fans behind him. And, man, if he keeps playing like this, man, I'm telling you, I love Quinn. I do. I do love him. I said, but, man, if Archie keeps playing like this, man, it's going to be tough to take him off the football field.
Now, if you're gonna have Arch Manning go out there and start a game, right? This is the game you want him to start, right? They're playing a lower level team in Louisiana Monroe. Now, Louisiana Monroe is 2-0, right? They're 2-0. They beat Jackson State. They beat UAB. They're coming into DKR, 44-point underdogs.
Yeah.
UT covering the spread on this one, 44 points.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. I think Texas by far has the top offense in the country college-wise. There's just nobody that can beat them. They have so many weapons. You got Ryan Wingo, Isaiah Bond, Jonte Cook, DeAndre Moore, your receivers. I think Garrett Gibson has really shown, and he surprised everyone. I mean, he had 13 carries for 75 yards. Man, they just have a high octane offense, man. I mean, I'm forgetting about the tight end Gunnar Helm. They just got so many weapons on offense. It's going to be hard to stop them. It really is.
Yeah, I like some of those running backs, man. They hit the hole hard. They did a fantastic job. Now, the big news that happened during the week, though, was that Texas was named ranked number one in the Associated Press top 25 for the first time in 16 years, leapfrogging Georgia. Texas with 35 first-place votes, Georgia with 23. In the coaches poll, Georgia is still number 1. Texas is number 2. What are your thoughts on UT jumping up to number 1 overall, especially after the Quinn Ewers injury?
Well, I watched a little bit of the Georgia-Kentucky game, and man, they were struggling. I mean, Kentucky was on them, man. I thought we were going to have an upset in the making. So when I saw that they struggled against Kentucky, who is not a ranked team, I knew that there was no question if we went out and took care of business against UTSA, we would be ranked number 1 in the country. Now, I want to say this: Tennessee did make a big jump, and I want to say Tennessee has probably got the second best offense in the country, and I think they should be ranked higher than that. I think they've got a really good football team. I think Josh Heupel has them playing very, very well, and I think it should be 1-2. You know, I know everybody likes Georgia, man, but they struggled against Kentucky. They really did. I didn't realize how ineffective they could be offensively sometimes.
Yeah, Georgia beat Kentucky 13-12. Kentucky has been playing a lot better. Looks like Georgia's off this week. They battle Alabama. So it's going to be a battle between number 2 and 4 next weekend. So that's going to be a big game there. It'd be nice to see UT and Georgia both undefeated going into DKR sometime in mid-October. That's what I'm looking forward to right there. Talking to Johnny Walker, Texas Longhorns great. He's a you're an offensive coordinator or receivers coach right now. What are you doing right now?
Offense coordinator / receivers coach / doctor / everything. No, yeah, just the offensive coordinator and the receiving coach.
Somerset Academic Collegiate, that's over on Vance Jackson Road. I'll be announcing tonight's game. You told me yesterday that there is a superstition that you guys are undefeated when I'm on the mic over there.
So you're lobbying for a pay raise, huh?
If you guys go 2-0 while I'm announcing, yes.
We'll have to renegotiate the contract, huh? I got you.
So Johnny, let's talk about we've talked a lot about UT going into the SEC play, though. This is the last game before SEC football gets going. What do you think the difference is for the Longhorns? Because the Longhorns can go 4-0, and a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. There's people all over the nation right now who are, even the Longhorn haters out there, who are like, my God, this team is really good. This team is really special. They went into Ann Arbor, beat the crap out of Michigan. Yeah. You know, they lose Quinn Ewers, who's a Heisman Trophy candidate, and they don't miss a beat. But the competition difference between the Big 12 and the SEC, and not only you play in the SEC, but you're also bringing Oklahoma from the Big 12 over. What's it like for UT to go through this? Because it doesn't seem like there's any weeks of rest between now and the end of the season.
Man, I can tell you that SEC schedule and just the teams there. I mean, you're running through the gauntlet. They've got some great football teams. By far, I think it's the best conference in college football. I think it's going to be an eye-opening experience. When you start that SEC schedule, there's not an off week. I mean, you know, playing a team like Vanderbilt, I mean, there's just not an off week. So you have to make sure that everybody is on the same page and going full cylinders. Because look, we saw what happened with Georgia. I thought Georgia would kill Kentucky. I didn't think it would be close. But when I turned on TV and watched the score, I was like, what? I mean, 13-12. I mean, they actually had a chance to beat Georgia, which nobody thought could happen. So I'm just telling you, SEC, they play big-time football, and you've got to be ready every week.
And you can always bounce back. I mean, we saw that with Texas A&M. A&M laid an egg in the first game of the season, losing to Notre Dame 23-13. Come back, beat McNeese, and it's like, okay, no big deal. That's McNeese State, right? But then to get their first SEC victory of the year, 33-20 over Florida. Now they got Bowling Green coming in, right? So what are your thoughts on the Aggies turning it around so quickly? Now 2-1 on the season.
I'm sorry. You're breaking up. I'm sorry. What was the question?
What are your thoughts on the Aggies? What are your thoughts on the Aggies turning the season around so quickly?
They don't have a choice. I mean, you know, when you're the SEC, man, you can't have down weeks. And if you have another down week, man, you're out of it. You have to be able to perform. I don't want to say I like to see that Texas A&M is playing better. One of the main reasons is because I want the game against Texas to be two ranked football teams. But it seems like Texas A&M is coming along. I think that they've got a new coach. new systems. I think once they get a better understanding of what's expected on both sides, I think you'll continue to see Texas A&M get better as the year progresses.
Outstanding. Talking to Johnny Walker, former Longhorns, talking about college football. Let's switch it over to the NFL. At what point during Sunday's game did you realize the Cowboys had no chance against the Saints? Because I want to sit back and enjoy this conversation piece. My Saints destroying your Cowboys. At what point did you realize this was not our day? Was it the first quarter? Was it the second quarter? Was it when the Cowboys gave up 6 touchdowns and 6 drives?
Yeah.
Is it the fact that the Saints have had 15 possessions this season? All 15 resulted in points. At what point are you going to say the team's good? And at what point did you realize the Cowboys had no chance?
When I saw David Carr do the Michael Jackson dance in the end zone, I was like, oh, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. As a matter of fact, he got in trouble for that. But no, I want to say the offensive coordinator for New Orleans has done a great job. I mean, he's found a way to utilize all of the weapons. And man, when they get their offense going, man, they're tough to beat. I think New Orleans is underrated. I think they're jiving well together right now, and they're definitely one of the teams to look out for in the NFL and the NFC.
So, you talk about the Cowboys from last week. I mean, that was a game very reminiscent of the Green Bay game in the playoffs. They just couldn't stop the run. And Alvin Kamara went off, had 4 touchdowns. Micah Parsons spoke to the media this week. And I don't want to say that he threw the team under the bus, but he kind of did a little bit because he said that they didn't want it as much as he did. Mm-hmm. When you hear a player say that about his teammates, what does that make you think? Is that a smart thing to say?
Ooh, that's a good one. I will say that being that he's a captain, that is definitely something they say. Now, I don't know if I would say it out in public. I think that's probably more a locker room conversation. Because I think that once you let everybody else know, then it becomes a problem, and now people are going to be looking for problems inside the locker room as well as the expectation on the football field. So that's something that I would keep inside, but it needed to be said. I do believe that it needed to be said. And Dallas just did not play very well, and they didn't look very good at all. And it was so different than what you saw the week before. And you hate to see Dallas fluctuate like that. I mean, you always want to have consistency, and there's really no excuse for them to perform the way they did against New Orleans, especially at home. There's just no excuse for that.
Yeah. Now, earlier this morning, head coach Mike McCarthy was on San Antonio Sports Stars, a morning show. Rob Thompson was interviewing him. It was one of the more brutal conversations I had ever seen or ever listened to. Usually those conversations where you have the head coach go on local sports talk radio, they're very nice and friendly. But we saw Rob Thompson pin down Mike McCarthy and basically ask the question, why are the veteran offensive linemen struggling so bad? And he was talking about Zach Martin, Terrence Steele, who've been around. I mean, Zach Martin, future Hall of Famer, and telling him, hey, he's ranked 34 out of 38 according to Pro Football Focus. This other guy's ranked 32 out of 38 according to PFF rankings. And McCarthy got offended by that and didn't want to answer. When you see the offensive line right now for the Cowboys, is that a big deal right now, or is the bigger deal the defensive line for this team?
I would have to say the offensive line. To play as poorly as Dallas did offensively, I hope I'm answering the question because I know you're kind of breaking up on me. But I would say the offensive line. The offensive line play was atrocious. I mean, and we're so used to seeing a dominant offensive line play from the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, usually I think for a couple of years there, they had 3 offensive linemen who were always going to be all pro or so. It's just hard to see them fall apart the way they did. I really wasn't expecting that. I don't think anybody expected that. Actually, I thought you were going to show up on the show with your David Carr jersey on. I know I got a couple of text messages. You sending me text messages. I got no response. I couldn't say anything. No, what can you say when they get whooped like that, man? I mean, I don't like to be in a position like that, man. There's nothing I can say. I can just, hey, man, I thumbs up. mean, they look good. But definitely the offensive line play. You know that they did dominate defensive wall their first game, but against Cleveland. But we know that Cleveland kind of had some struggles, but nobody is expecting New Orleans to play the way they're playing this year. I just think that they're underrated. They've got a good football team, but I don't think Dallas is that bad either. So they've got to definitely get some things put back.
I got a question for Johnny.
Wait, real fast, Joe. I thought he wasn't getting text messages. I thought they didn't go through.
Man,
I was sending I was sending a floor de lis for every touchdown. So at one point I sent 5.
No, I was getting them. I was about to block your number, man. I thought that would be too easy.
Block him, Johnny. Tell him.
I knew you were going to be excited, man. I was like, no, man, I can't even. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I watched the whole game, man. They played so bad. I started watching another game, but yeah,
you know
man,
what, Johnny?
You got us on that one.
Tell him though, Johnny. He's all happy after the New Orleans Saints win, but keep that same energy when they lose.
That's right.
Got to keep that same energy.
Hey,
come in here on the show wearing your Saints gear.
all I know is 15 offensive possessions.
Yeah.
15 scores this year.
See how
Have you ever heard of that in the NFL, Johnny?
See how he's riding high right now? Watch when the wheels fall off, Johnny. Watch when the wheels fall off.
Clint Kubiak is the next big thing, man. He's the next big thing when it comes to football. Offensive coordinator for the Saints. He's in his 30s. What do you know, young guys? We have a super chat coming in from Tex-Mex Frank with a $4.99 tip to us saying, happy Friday, gentlemen. I have no control over how poorly run my Cowboys organization is, but are we still all in? Puro pinche Cowboys por vida. Un grito. Oh, he's paying for the grito.
I know. That's why I got it ready.
Stand by, Johnny. 1 second.
Stand by.
He paid $5 for this. He gets this.
Yeah, this for you, Tex-Mex Frank.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
That's the sad grito. Okay, gritos are for sadness. It's also for happiness, right?
So happiness.
That's the sad grito right there. So we had to do it. He paid $5.
Look at where I have him at, man. He's over in Market Square,
where he belongs. Okay,
that's where Mike will never go. You'll never go,
dude. I was at Market Square for Fiesta this year.
For how long? 5 minutes?
Well, I went during the daytime because
Johnny, Mike don't like his own people. Johnny, he don't like his own people. He says it's too ethnic for him. Johnny, tell him.
Hey, that's because he's a New Orleans Saints fan. That's what it is, man. He likes that Creole food, man. What's that's what it is.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you a question, Johnny. You see, a lot of people are talking about how poorly the Cowboys played in Sunday's game, but it seems like nobody's talking about the other team that's here in the NFC East, which is the Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles, they have not played very well. And
no, they haven't.
Hurts does not look good out there as a quarterback. You know, the Eagles are a team that's kind of in flux.
Yeah, I think when you and people need to realize it's when you have a coordinator changes, and I think they changed the offense coordinator and the defense coordinator. There's going to be some changes, and there's going to be some things you're going to have to be able to work through, especially when you're used to it. And I thought that was too drastic of a change. I think that they kind of fell off the last part of the season, but I didn't think they fell off enough to where you needed to make a wholesale change. And when you're changing OCs and DCs, that's a wholesale change, and that's going to take a little time to work through. Everybody looks good during practice, but man, when you turn the lights on, and everything changes real quick when you turn the lights on, man.
Is it just possible that Jalen Hurts is maybe overrated?
No. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, so I won't say that. No, I think that Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I think that you have an offensive coordinator now who needs to learn how to utilize his tool set. There's no question he's one of the best dual quarterbacks in the NFL. But at the same time, you also realize that if something happens to him and gets hurt, you really fall off with your second string quarterback. So I think it's just working out the nuances. I think Philadelphia is going to be good. I think they added Saquon Barkley. Then again, Saquon makes it a catch. This is a different story. But, they win that game. But like I said, it's just a matter of putting all the tools together. And I don't think Brown played that game either. So that's a big piece of your offense that's not there either. So I think Philadelphia will be able to work things out. There's only one game or two games I really care about, and that's Philadelphia against Dallas. So other than that, as long as they don't have it worked out when they play us. But no, I think Philadelphia will definitely do better as the season progresses.
Yeah. We all got to get together and watch a football game on Sunday, Johnny.
Absolutely,
I mean,
man.
I like hanging around Johnny. Johnny's my people, man.
He's my people. He's a home hustler
No,
like I am.
No,
He's a hustler
we ain't the same, Mike. We ain't the same.
Now-
Johnny grew up in the hood, man.
Now,
That's what I like.
I grew up in the same hood. What are you talking
No, man.
about?
Come on, man. Come on.
So here's the thing: the Eagles played the Saints this weekend. Saints favored by 2.5 points at the Superdome. Who you got? Saints, Eagles.
Man, it's tough. I want the Eagles to win. I do. But I think the Saints offense, man, they just look tough to beat. I'm gonna have to go with the Saints on that one.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. The Saints going on, marching into a 3-0 start of the season.
Yeah, I think.
Woo,
Yeah,
who would have thought?
that
Now,
offense
you know,
is
we were talking earlier this week about how the Saints are rolling, the Bucks are rolling.
Yep.
Meantime, the only division in the NFL that doesn't have a 2-0 team is the NFC East. Is it possible that the NFC East? I said this earlier this week that my prediction for this week is that all 4 NFC East teams are going to lose this week. All 4 are going to lose, and first place is okay. Was the Eagles at the Saints, right? That's the first one.
I got Saints.
You have the Commanders going into Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Cincinnati doesn't look that good either, but I think they'll get it together against the Commanders. Yeah.
Giants at Browns. Browns favored by a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then you have the Dallas Cowboys hosting an 0-2 desperate Baltimore Ravens team. Preview that game for me. Ravens going into Dallas. Ravens favored in this game. By a point. Oh, by a point, right? Ravens favored by a point. You have the number 1 rushing team in the Ravens. We have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson going up against a defensive team, a defensive line that got decimated this past week and run all up and down the field by the Saints. Give me a preview of the Ravens Cowboys and give me a prediction.
I believe the Ravens are going to win that one 24-16. I'm thinking Baltimore's going to win. I don't think Dallas has enough time to work out the kinks on their defensive line to be able to stop a high octane rushing attack like Baltimore. That's going to be tough for them to do that. And that's being very, very nice. It might be worse than that.
It might get away, dude. Because I asked Joe this question yesterday because he was saying that he's confident his Cowboys are going to bounce back, and I asked the question, who's a better team, the Ravens or the Saints? And he goes, well, I think the Ravens are. And I don't fault that because I too think the Ravens are a better team than the Saints right now. And I said, well, if the Saints were able to go over there and whip up on them 44-19 and get 165 yards on the ground, what's the number 1 rush offense going to do? The number 1 rushing offense going to do with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? They're just going to run up and down that field. That'll be the 3rd straight loss at Jerryland.
No, man, it ain't going to be. You're only as good as your record says you are, right? Right now, the Ravens, they're winless. They're coming to Jerry World. Cowboys are hungry, man. They want to go ahead and get this win. Dak and company got something to prove. I got the Cowboys over the Ravens. Cowboys winning 21, Ravens 17.
21-17. What do you 24-16?
Yeah, 24-16 Ravens.
Okay, I'm going to have the Ravens winning. I'll go 31-23.
31-23?
Yeah, I think Brandon Aubrey's going to hit like 4 field goals like he always does. That guy's money. That guy's money. Is he the best player on the Cowboys right now?
Who is the best player?
Brandon Aubrey, the kicker.
Yeah, unfortunately. He's the only one being consistent. I was mad when they didn't let him kick the 71-yarder, man. I thought he could have made that.
Yeah. Just get them all to the 50-yard line. He'll be perfectly fine.
We got an incoming super chat. Thank you, Drew Show. We do appreciate it, man. He says, put your money where your mouth is, Mike. Bet the NFL lease parlay and bet all three to lose. The money line. I'll bet you will. I goes, I'll join you. $30 and little bit.
I'm gonna
$30.
I'm gonna find it right now because I'm down with that. I'm down with that bet. I don't know, $30, $20 is fine.
Oh, come on. You got
25,
the
25,
money.
25.
Oh, man, Mike always got that money, man. Come on.
Ooh, we have a Tex-Mex Frank is predicting 27-24 Cowboys. Chris Gonzalez, 42-16 Ravens.
Ravens.
Dude, if that happens, Mike McCarthy is run out of town.
You think so? You think they'll get rid of him if they get beat? Really?
I don't think McCarthy's finishing this year.
No,
he's a lame duck head coach. He's
Dallas
a lame duck head coach.
Dallas Cowboys had the number one offense last year. Number one offense. That's one of the reasons why Dak got the contract that he did. So to say that they'll just run him out of town, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. I know Jay will be mad though. He might have a check bounce or two, but I don't think he'll get rid of him. No, I don't think he'll do that.
Oh man,
what does this tell you about the NFL season thus far? That in the NFC, the quarterbacks with a 2-0 record are Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Darnold. What does that tell you?
It tells me they got a good defense. That's what it tells me.
All four of them in the top 10. Defense. All four of them in the top 10.
Got a great defense, man.
That is badass. Over in the AFC, the Texans are 2-0 right now. The big controversy was after the game. I don't know if you saw CJ Stroud go up to Caleb Williams after the game.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, I'm not trying to little brother him, but CJ Stroud kind of just walked on over and said, hey, man, don't take those hits. You're going to have a great career. And people are there asking, why is he doing that? You're in your second year. Did CJ Stroud do something wrong?
No. I think that if you watch the game and if you looked at Caleb Williams' expressions, man, he looked like he was just beat down. Well, he was beat down. I mean, they were hitting him. They were coming from everywhere. And I thought that was good encouragement, man. I mean, I think that he was trying to let them know, hey, man, keep your head up. You were drafted number one for a reason. You've got all the talent and the tools. Just hang in there. Keep fighting through it. But Caleb Williams looked very frustrated after that game. Almost like, hey, where am I at? What am I doing? Why am I playing for the Chicago Bears? It really looked rough. And I kudos to Stroud to go over and try to talk to him and pep him up a little bit, man, because he looked lost and dazed at the end of that football game. He really looked lost.
So we had a comment coming in, Sam Salinas saying, it means we're only 2 weeks into an 18-week season. Jimenez, calm down, Mike. There's certain things to get excited about, though. Certain teams that are doing very well. We saw Kyler Murray blow up this past week. It's been a while. Kyler Murray came out of college as he was a stud. Then he kind of got lost in the video games and wasn't studying the playbook. Now he has Marvin Harrison Jr. just catching dimes like crazy. 2 touchdowns last week. Are there any teams in the NFL, maybe it's the Cardinals, maybe it's a team like Minnesota that you're looking at going, well, this team might be better than we thought. Maybe it's the Saints. Are there certain teams that you're looking at thinking these teams might be better than we thought and others that might not be as good as you originally thought?
The Dallas Cowboys are not as good as I originally thought, and the Saints are damn sure better than I ever thought they would be, especially at this stage of the season. I'm shocked. I think the Saints are rolling. I think that offense coordinator and David Carr really has them playing well. I really do, man. I thought Dallas would be dominating, so I was surprised to see them be handled and beat up so much by the Saints. That surprised me more than anything.
He called him David. My goodness. Derek Carr, man. We're going to get the name correct over here. I'm looking at these teams. We see in the AFC, Pittsburgh is 2-0. Buffalo is 2-0. The New York Jets last night got a victory over the Patriots.
They look good. Look good.
Okay, we've been talking about we buried Aaron Rodgers on this show. We got the plot out. We put his body in there. We put the dirt on top. We buried his career. Now the Jets are sitting there at 2-1.
Yeah.
Are the Jets a good team, and is Aaron Rodgers good enough to take this team to the playoffs?
Oh, without question, Aaron Rodgers is good enough to take them to the playoffs. They've got a good football team. I mean, they looked really good last night. I was impressed with Aaron Rodgers, and just the report that he had with the receivers. I think he has Lazard, who used to be with him at Green Bay. I mean, they already have a combination working between those two. But I think the Jets look really good, man. They got a good football team. They've always had a good defense year in and year out. But when you bring in someone like Aaron Rodgers, who's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer, you're taking the Jets to the next level. I think they'll be able to make it to the playoffs for sure.
I'm gonna tell you something, Johnny, and this is going back to last year, man. The Jets, they let me down. I'm through with them. I never trust the Jets. I don't trust no Aaron Rodgers. He looked good against a bad team, Johnny. He looked good against a bad Patriots team. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. They're gonna let me down. I know it.
Man, Aaron Rodgers, it's tough to bet against Aaron, man. Aaron is a 3-time, 4-time MVP. I mean, he's that for a reason. I mean, he's a hell of a quarterback. And it seems like they're gelling. They really are. I mean, they spent some money on some offensive linemen, getting one of them from the Dallas Cowboys, Smith. But they really have bought into the Jets and what they're trying to do there. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to help them get over the top. I really do. They've got a good football team.
Talking to Johnny Walker, Longhorn legend, former Holmes Husky legend, who predicted 56-7 last week. Did we get a score for the game this week against UL Monroe? What do you got for us when it comes to the Longhorns?
I am going to say it will be 56-0 this time. I don't think they'll score. And I hate to say that because I'm a really good friend of the starting quarterback for Louisiana Monroe, General Booty. He was a quarterback at Cornerstone High School. So kudos to him and his family. They're going to be down, so it's going to be a great chance to catch up with them. But I hate to say it, General, man, it's going to be tough tomorrow. It's going to be tough tomorrow, man. They're going to be coming after you, man.
That's the greatest name in college football right now.
Isn't it?
General
Man,
Booty.
that's a heck of a name. General Booty.
That's a fantastic name. Now, looking at the college football schedule for tomorrow, tonight we got 2 ranked teams, Illinois against Nebraska, both coming in at 3-0. On Saturday games, the big game is going to be 2:30 at CBS. USC number 11 going on the road to take on Michigan. It's kind of hard to say that is a Big Ten matchup. Weird. That's a Big Ten matchup. USC against Michigan. That's usually a Rose Bowl matchup. My LSU Tigers are home this week as well. A&M is home against Bowling Green. Lots of good games going on. The UT game is going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff on ESPN Plus. They're not even going to have that on ESPN. ESPN Plus. Johnny, what are you looking forward to this weekend, man? Where are you watching the games?
I am going to be watching the UT game at the stadium. I'll be there. I've got season tickets, so I'm definitely at the UT game. We got to find out where to watch the Sunday games at, man. You guys are you're gonna have to let me know where's the spot to go where we can meet up, man.
Very nice. Tony Ornelas on our YouTube stream is asking you to predict the Houston Texans game. So let's go ahead and look at those that roster right there.
Who the Texans playing?
It's a battle of 2-0 teams. Texans on the road against the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, wow. I think that the Texans will win that game. I think it'll be 31-27. I think Texans win that game. Texans look really good. They're my team in the AFC that I see playing in the Super Bowl. I think they're that good. DeMarco Ryan has them really playing very good football.
Isn't it weird? Man. Isn't it weird how the Texans are 2-0? Haven't played a good game this year.
Hey,
good team. Good teams win when they're not firing on all cylinders.
I picked a good Sancha team to root for, man.
That's my Sancha team too.
No, I said it first. You can't claim them.
Johnny, do you have a Sancha team? Do you have a side piece team?
I don't want no parts of Sancha. I'm sorry, man. It don't sound good.
Oh, come on, man.
So the rule of the Sancha team is cheering for another team that is not in your conference.
No, you know what? I will. If I did have one, it would have to be the Texans. That would be my Sancha team.
I dropped the Bengals. I put a waiver wire on the Sancha. My new side piece is the Texans.
Johnny walking with his girl, but then has to kind of look over there and said that other girl in that black dress looked good too.
Johnny, tell me about tonight. Who are we playing tonight, man? Tell me about tonight.
We're playing St. Paul. They're out of Corpus Christi. So I'm making the calls on the sideline. So I'm predicting a victory. We're gonna bounce back after last week. So it's gonna be a good football game. If you don't have anything to do at around 7, you can come down to our stadium right here off of Vance Jackson and come watch us play, man. We'd love to have you.
Very nice. It's about a mile outside of 410, man. So just go check it out. I'll be doing the announcing over there tonight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Johnny, thank you for being on, man. You're always a great guest. Again, he predicted that UT would stomp UL Monroe, right? He predicted that the Texans would go on and start off the season 3-0, and he predicted that his Cowboys are going to fall in a close game this week to the Baltimore Ravens. You heard it here first.
I got every confidence the Cowboys are going to win this one.
Ooh, I want that bet. I want that money.
Oh, you're gonna get a bid over $20, man. Come on.
Johnny, I'll see you tonight, man.
Hey, if Dallas keeps playing the way they're playing, they might have to be my Sanchez team. I don't know, man. Might have to have 2 Sanchez.
Wait, what is that? What is that called when you reverse the Sancho with your favorite team? What is that called?
Divorce.
Divorce.
Oh man!
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Johnny. See you tonight, man. Good luck tonight.
See you, Johnny.
All right, man. All right. See you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.
That was great. It's great insight, man. He says 56-0 straight on the dot, man. Another 8 touchdowns for the Longhorns this weekend. Arch Manning going to be under center for the number 1 ranked Longhorns.
Oh, look at this, man. I like this comment here from Sam Salinas. I live dangerously because my Sancho team's in the same conference.
That's like saying that your Sancho team is in the same family as your girl, man. That's not right.
Man.
That's not right, baby. Not right at all.
Living dangerously here, man. But you know what?
So what's this whole thing about CeeDee Lamb being injured? Because I cannot find anything about that.
I saw this, man. He's rumored to be injured, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's that hurt as he's making out to be. He missed practice because he had a sore ankle. That's what he's saying. But I have the comments here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show it.
I'm looking at the Cowboys practice.
I got it right here. There he is.
So I'm looking at the Cowboys injury report against the Ravens. So CeeDee Lamb missed practice on Wednesday. Was limited in practice yesterday. The only ones that did not practice yesterday was Mozzie Smith, the back injury.
Yeah, and then they asked CeeDee Lamb, they said, how's the ankle? He said, it's just feeling sore. That's what he said on Wednesday, so he took the day off. And he said, we lost, when they asked him about, the Cowboys reestablishing their dominance at home. And he said, we've lost 2 games at home. And how many years? We'll be perfectly fine. Talk your shit, CD. Tell him. Tell him.
Okay, so give me reasons why. You know what? First, before we do that, let's give love. You got the hat on. Let's give them some love. And we're going to talk about why you have so much confidence in your Cowboys. You got to give me not just fandom, but give me like analysis as to why. Let's have some love for MCS.
MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
Hard Concrete, and Chris Leha is a Saints fan himself because he knows not only how to lay that concrete, the strong concrete, he knows the strong team in the NFC.
It's the Diamond Hard Concrete, home of the Diamond Hard Concrete. And if y'all want it done right the first time, not cheap, but done right the first time.
That's right.
Call MCS General Contracting. They have a combined 30 years experience in the concrete business.
Who do you know that's a customer?
You right there.
Me,
Mike
baby.
Jimenez.
Extension to my patio, had a sidewalk made on the side of my house. Looks amazing. Fantastic. Kind of like fortified the slab there for
and
a while.
The landing. You got a nice little landing and everything
it's
now.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
It's nice. Well, check it out, baby. Check it out. Again, the phone number is 774-9155 to just go get a bid, man. Just tell them what you need, whether it be a parking lot. What do you need? A a swimming pool,
Pickleball court, basketball court,
extension to your patio,
anything.
Concrete driveways, especially.
Even a pool, man.
There you go. Let's also get some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Kansas City. But before we do that, real fast, you're showing love to the Cowboys. You're thinking that you have confidence in your boys. Is it just bravado? Give me what you think is going to happen that's going to propel the Cowboys to victory, Joe.
I don't think that they're going to. They can't go and lose back-to-back games.
But is it going to be the offense? Is it going to be the defense?
I think what's going to show up this week actually is going to be the defense. I think the defense is finally going to play worth the damn. And even if they lose, as long as they show that they can keep this game close, and they lose by a point, they lose by 3 points, at least show some heart. That's what I'm saying. Play with some heart. Don't give up, And
I don't think the offense gave up. The offense scored 16 points.
No, it's the defense.
I think it's the defense.
Like,
the defense needs to show up.
Play with some webbles,
Micah
man.
Parsons calling out the defense. I just think that they're not talented enough.
It don't matter, man. If you all go out there and you all play as a team, anything can happen, man. But I got confidence in my Cowboys. I think they're going to have a good bounce back game, and I think they're going to wind up getting this win against the Ravens. I think the Ravens are getting sloppy because they're getting desperate, and desperation will make them make mistakes.
We got to talk about the new Spurs Fiesta color shoes in a moment, but first, here's some love for Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
So on Kens5.com, they have, and if you want to show my screen real quick,
sure,
photos of the shoes. It's a sneaker company. I don't know how to pronounce that. Kiadon reveals the Keldon Johnson 2.0 sneakers.
There they are.
There they are with the Fiesta colors.
Go ahead and zoom in on that.
I never thought that I'd have a desire to get Keldon Johnson shoes. Those aren't bad. I can see wearing that to the Frost Bank Center. They're all right.
Yeah, but I think they're hard to get because they're sold. I believe they're made and sold over in China or something like that, right?
Oh, so everything's made
yeah,
in
but
China.
I'm saying I think they're hard to find here because they're not like a big brand,
right?
So they're going to be kind of more obscure to find. I think the only way you can get them is you got to order them online and get them shipped over here.
I like them, dude. I like them
They
a lot.
look nice.
The more I look at them, like right there, that view point right there, I like them.
I'm sure they're going to have them over here at the Spurs fan shop or something. You can probably get them there.
NBA 2K25, the video game, showed what a particular basketball court would look like. Is this the NBA Cup court? Is what Jeff Garcia is asking today. That looks sweet, dude.
Let's take a look at that.
That looks sweet.
Let's see.
Let me see if I can get onto the article here.
There it is.
That's a good looking court right there, man.
This thing that I'm not a fan of is that kind of like outline that they have of Texas, and then they have the spur in there. It's like it's all right. It kind of reminds me too much of the that other logo that they had, the STX or something like that.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of Austin.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because
they call them the ATX.
Yeah, ATX. Man.
So SATX was kind of like an homage to both of them.
Yeah, man, that's too Austin, bro.
They're the Sanchez City for the Spurs, man. Different county, right? Different county.
It's a different county, man, but still, I like the black and silver. I just don't like that outline of Texas with the Spur logo right in the heart. It looks like it's more in Austin, not in San Antonio.
It does. It does.
Just like, come on, man.
Did you hear that Diddy's on Suicide Watch?
I heard, man. The Diddler.
We're going to call him the Diddler. Is that what it is?
That's his nickname, the Diddler.
He is now on Suicide Watch. He says nothing's going to happen, man. I'm not going to kill myself. But the dude is on Suicide Watch after being picked up for a lot of things. I hear that there's more accusations coming his way, this time involving minors. dude, this guy is going to be the biggest pariah of all time in Hollywood history, music entertainment history. Dude, Diddy's going down, man. And he's jailed right now in New York City. He ain't getting out, dude. He ain't getting out at all.
No, man, he ain't gonna sniff the free air for a long time. Maybe he'll be lucky and somebody will sneak a bottle of lotion in there to him, some lube.
So I'm looking right now at the ball that was caught yesterday. Shohei Ohtani's home run, his 50th home run, $500,000. Here's what I say you should do. If I caught that ball, I would hold on to that ball and not sell it for like 5 or 6 years. You need this guy's legend to grow, right? It's $500,000 now, and I know I can get $500,000 right now by just handing it on over. But I bet you I can get $2 or $3 million if this guy becomes one of the greatest players of all time.
Hey, man, and you know what? If he does, you're gonna say, you know what? I remember the crack of the bat. I was there. Minute Maid Park. Sounded like thunder.
Midtown and both Ornelas coming up and saying that Diddy killed Biggie. If you believe a lot of the rumors out there that the reason why the murder was not connected, allegedly, was the fact that the person that Diddy was supposed to pay off never got the money. That the person that was the middleman stole the money. So you couldn't tie the two together. That's the belief, by the way.
I don't doubt it, man. The diddler, you know?
Yeah.
Going away for a long time. Like I said, he ain't going to sniff that free air.
Not for
maybe for the rest of his life, dude. He'll be in there.
What are you doing this weekend, Joe?
Just going to be chilling out here, man. I might be able to record an episode finally of the Area 210 podcast, the initial relaunch here of what used to be the Two Shots podcast. Might be recording that tonight with one Jeff Garcia.
Really? You were talking. He was mentioning that on the show yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get things to line up today and maybe record an episode, man.
Very nice. This weekend, I have no idea what I'm going to do this weekend. I know I'm doing the game tonight. Going to do the stadium announcing. I'm going to take my daughter Ava out there to go check it out. That's going to be pretty cool. Tomorrow, I kind of want to go to SeaWorld, man. You know, I haven't been to SeaWorld in a couple of months.
What do they have at the Hollow Scream?
The Hollow Scream?
Yeah.
Thinking about doing that.
It's just around the corner from us, you know, from where I live. And I'm tired of SeaWorld, bro. I've been to SeaWorld so many times. It's like, it ain't Disney, dude. I'll tell you that.
It isn't, but it isn't bad.
Yeah, it's like that Joe Pesci meme that they got going around. You go in there and you're like, what the hell is this piece of shit, you know?
That's kind of funny.
It's what I think of when I go to these other places that aren't Disney, you know? It's like, what is this place, man?
Are you saying that SeaWorld's poor?
Not saying that it's poor. It's just saying, it's just like, it has that small town, that small park feel. Anytime I go to like, you know, Fiesta, Texas, or I go to, you know, SeaWorld, I'm like, it ain't Disney, man. And there's a difference.
A huge difference.
Huge difference, man. I'm like, it's all right.
We never talked about that push between Coach Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. What was your thought when you saw that? Because Aaron Rodgers after the game said that there was no animosity between the two. There was a lot of social media talk about it because it appeared that Coach Saleh of the Jets wanted to go give Aaron Rodgers a hug before the game. Aaron Rodgers pushed him off, and he said something to the coach, and we thought he probably cussed him out. But what Aaron Rodgers said that he said matches his lips.
Yeah.
So I cannot believe that he lied when it came to it. I think he did say what he said he said. So he says that Robert Saleh tells him all the time the importance of having a 2-score lead. And Rodgers said, the guy's never affectionate with me, so I didn't know what was going on. And I pushed him aside, and I screamed at him, 2-possession lead. And that's what his lips say. So maybe it was nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there might be
2-score lead.
I think there might be something going on behind the scenes there between Aaron Rodgers and the coach. I don't think that they're seeing eye to eye, man.
But why would Aaron Rodgers look at him and say 2-score lead?
Maybe because that's what he's always telling him.
Well,
he's throwing it back at him.
That's what the coach keeps telling
Aaron Rodgers. He's throwing it back at him.
He pushed him off and says 2-score lead. I don't know. I don't think it was a bad thing.
I don't think so, man.
I mean, do you want the coaches and the players to hug all the time?
No, man.
Dude, what was up with Nikki Glazer being part of Amazon's broadcast yesterday? I love Nikki Glazer. She does all the roasts on Comedy Central. She's a great comedian. She performed here in San Antonio recently to like a sold out audience.
Yeah.
Not at the comedy club. She sold out, I think, the Majestic. She's amazing, right? The toast master. They had her on before the show.
I saw that.
She was doing jokes about Gronkowski, doing jokes about the NFL, and it was flat. It's flat because there's no one to laugh. She needs to have that interaction with the crowd to get it going. For her just telling jokes, it reminded me of back in the day. Remember Caddyshack with Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, I remember that.
Rodney Dangerfield apparently had a hard time doing the acting because he was not an actor. He was a stand-up comedian. But beyond all that, he told the actors that he thought he was bombing because no one was laughing. And they were telling him, the crew can't laugh. This isn't a skit. The actors can't laugh. You're doing great. That's what it felt like, because it felt like she felt like no one thought it was funny because no one there was laughing. She feeds off the audience. She feeds off the crowd. She didn't have that, and it all fell flat.
I like this comment, man. Midtown Texas. I'm going to use that one on my wife.
2-score lead, baby. 2-score lead.
And look at everybody saying that Glazer's a nugget, man. She's a hottie.
Oh, Legs McGee, dude.
And I saw her because, when I was watching the broadcast, on Amazon Thursday Night Football, I was working. Work's kind of slowed down, so it allowed me to watch a little bit of the game. And yeah, man, it was kind of flat, And I think they just had her there just to appease the crowds, the masses.
Right.
Give them a little bit of something different, trying to change it up a little bit. But no, man, it was just like, why is she there?
Right. And it wasn't good, dude. It wasn't good.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those live and learn kind of things. I don't know if she's going to be there every Thursday night, or is this like kind of like a one-off?
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't work.
It didn't work at all. I was thinking about the broadcasting from Amazon. You're an IT guy, Joe.
Yeah.
It's so much better watching a game on Peacock than it is Amazon. The Peacock interface, you can skip, 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
That's the way I like watching the game. I show up an hour late.
It shows you like the highlights.
They both kind of do,
Yeah.
but Peacock does a better job. I can zoom faster with Peacock than I can Amazon. Amazon just goes off. Like you try to skip 10, 20 seconds, and all of a sudden you're 4 minutes ahead. You try to go backwards, you're 4 minutes behind. There's something wrong with Amazon when it comes, like if you're watching it in real time, it's great. If you're watching it recorded, it's awful. It's an awful experience. Peacock is great at all aspects of it all.
Look at this breaking news here from Tony Ornelas. Hey, Joe, Selma Hayek is going to San Antonio Comic-Con in October. Just came in today. It's an update.
I don't know, man. If that's the case, we're gonna see Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting take the day off.
Be the first man in line. Be the first man in line. He's gonna say, "I'm gonna get her to sign my arm or something." He's gonna get it tattooed to never touch that again.
I'm gonna look this up, man.
That's true,
is
man.
This Big Texas Comic Con?
Yeah.
Is that is that what we're doing?
Yeah, San Antonio Comic-Con. So I think it's at Big Texas Comic-Con.
Yeah, website doesn't have anything. I'm looking at this is October 11th through the 13th. I mean, I would like to meet Billy Zabka. That's probably the one I'd like to meet.
Yeah.
I would take a photo with some of the kids from Cobra Kai. That's what I would like to do.
Look at Tony Ornelas. Just kidding, Joe. But I was gonna say, if that was the case, man, I know Chris Leha be the first man in line.
I didn't fall for it. But it's a good plug because Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs will be one of the moderators out there.
Yeah, he will.
So very, very cool.
Man, if she was, dude, the line just to meet her would be insane.
Well, she has
man.
nothing to plug. What is she doing these days other than coming out on a Adam Sandler movie from time to time? I mean, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
She has a billionaire husband.
Tony Ornelas, man, you breaking hearts over here, man. We're getting excited. It's like, man, is she really coming, dude? Because I got to buy my ticket.
Again, the Texans going up against the Vikings this weekend. I'm going to take the Texans. I think the Texans are going to roll them, dude. I think the Texans are going to win 27-13. I think that the Cowboys are going to lose, and I think the Saints are going to win by about 6.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna say, what did I say? Like 26-20, 26-27-21.
Yeah, because right now what's going to happen is that the Saints are going to be going up against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Who do you want to win?
I ain't got no dog in this fight.
Who do you
man.
want to win?
No dog in the fight.
No. If you had to pick one that was going to get the victory, who do you want?
As a Cowboy fan, it pains me to say this, but I hope the Eagles win just to put egg on your face. And then you come in here. Let's see if you come in here on Monday.
You hate me more than the Eagles.
Let's see if you come in here on Monday with that same energy. With David Carr, your quarterback. You can't even remember. Is it David or Derek? You and Johnny, man. Even Johnny said David.
I could actually hear. When I can hear, I can concentrate. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show. I got to get to work today, man. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Again, Cowboys, Texans, Longhorns.
We got to give you
cheer
some
for some
love.
victories, right? 210-508-0369. I have to run off because Daddy got a rather large case that he's working on right now, man. 210-508-0369. Got a case where I'm working over $1 million in investments today. That's very, very nice, man. I'm excited about it. Anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. 210-508-0369. If you need help with investments, or you need help with insurance planning, I'm here for it. 210-508-0369. Everyone have a good day, and go Saints.
See you on Monday.